Hello, friend. I wonder if you might stop by the Three Broomsticks when you can. I would like your help with something.
As I mentioned, my sister Anne misses Hogwarts, and she hasn't been herself lately. I'd like to take you up on your promise to visit her with me. I'm heading to Feldcroft soon, so I'll look forward to seeing you there. It's just south of Hogwarts. By the way, hope you're faring well with the blasting curse. It's still one of my favorites.
Now that you've attended Beasts class, I've asked Deke to assist you in using the room to further your studies in that regard. Please meet him there when you can.
I've not heard from my Uncle Roland in quite some time. I've been beside myself with worry. Could you meet me in the courtyard?
Not much of a go-kart.
Revelio.
Anyone care enough to remove my demiguise statues?
Pardon me, sir, but about those curious demiguise statues I've seen.
What? Who are you? Why do you ask?
They're quite clever.
Oh, thank you. A lot of craftsmanship and care went into them. I assume.
So you did create them?
Yes, I did. It was a ploy to give that pathetic oaf Moon a taste of the grief he caused me years ago. You are the one who's been pilfering them.
I am, at the request of Mr. Moon. I received your owl on your stationery.
Well, fitting Moon would enlist a student. Too cowardly to do it himself. Hasn't changed a bit. Even when we were at school, he was a cowardly bully. Gave me a horrible nickname, which I shan't repeat. I was thrilled when we left school and he seemed gone for good. Then I started seeing him around Hogsmeade. It was too much. Even if I do take satisfaction in that his life's destiny was to be a lowly caretaker.
Mr. Moon does a good deal for the school, and he's taught me a lot. He's terrified of those statues.
I know. You should have seen his face when that boggart appeared. Oh, priceless. That's when I knew what I needed to do. I simply didn't want to encounter him anymore. So, I shrewdly put a boggart in his path to learn his greatest fear. I then created the demiguise statues to keep him in his place, so to speak. The moons were an inspired play on his name. It worked brilliantly, until you started clearing them out.
Sounds as if Mr. Moon deserved what he got. But perhaps it's time you both moved on.
Fair point, I suppose. If they've terrified him, as you say, he may have learned his lesson.
Mr. Moon, I've learned who's behind the demiguise statues. It was a classmate of yours that you bullied, Piers Pemberton.
Oh, I might have known. Pigtails Piers.
I don't think he likes being called that.
Of course he does! Oh, we had such flowing locks, and we used to laugh about them. I laughed the hardest of all. Clever, clever man. I'd no idea he was so devious. I must go and congratulate him. Whatever statues remain seem less terrifying now that I know they were put out by old pigtails. Continue collecting them if you like. As for me, I'm gonna go and pay a visit to my old friend.
I shall get that goblin help back. Hopefully from your core.
Glacier! Confringo! Leviosa! Accio! Confringo! Your poaching days are over. Who lived here, I wonder? Revelio! Revelio. Levioso. Wingardium Leviosa. Levioso. These rocks have seen better days. Revelio. Depulso. Revelio. Revelio.
Nothing to poach in Arrington except spiders. Not worth the trouble, if you ask me. I would say that Iredale is not appropriate. They come after me, they'll rest in. When the clouds are dark is always the best time to strike. It's as if nature herself lends a veil beneath which to orchestrate one's
Wingardium Leviosa.
Come here, crupmite!
Stupid one.
This ain't right! Thought we'd forget about that goblin helm you stole. And stupid trick! Stupid one! You've learned quite a bit. You're a Treadwell's guardian angel. Up here! Get it. What have you done?
Protego.
Stop messing around like that!
Levioso. Accio. Confringo. Accio. Levioso. Glacier.
Avoiding obstacles.
Accio. Confringo. Levioso. Protego. Stupid one. Confringo!
Production!
You've made a great
Production!
Aha! Back for more.
Accio. Glacier. Levioso. Accio. Confringo.
Production! Expulsor! Production!
Accio.
Expulso.
Nobody will believe I defeated an Ashwinder by myself.
What are you up to now?
Accio. A castle. Must have been quite stately in its time.
Allow me to put you out of your misery.
It seems we may accumulate it. I'll get that goblin help back. Isn't Nora Treadwell's precious little guardian? you. Some of those wizards were friends. Stop spinning around like a pennywig!
Barely even felt that.
Accio.
Time to get my claws out.
Defender. Confringo. Blazing Thunder. Accio. Confringo. Accio.
In future, perhaps best not to get too carried away when a fair lady crosses one's path. Hello? Now, where did I set my traps? Was it Lower Hogwarts?
It's Totalis.
Can't figure out why there's such a fuss over...
The beats are safer now.
Oh, I shall enjoy this.
They come after me. I'll stick 'em like a nogtail. Perhaps I'll scout around Felcroft for something to poach. And where did I set my traps? Some...
It's Totalis. Abandoned long ago, no doubt.
Let's get this over with, shall
Wingardium Leviosa. Accio. Wingardium Leviosa. Depulso. Accio. Depulso. Wingardium Leviosa. Wingardium Leviosa. Expelliarmus. Incendio. Depulso. Accio. Wingardium Leviosa. Depulso. Levioso.
Perhaps I shall scout around Feldcroft for something to poach. I didn't always like a polite battle. I shall get that goblin back. Hopefully from the cold.
Confringo! Accio! Confringo! Glacius! Confringo! Lumos. Enchanted candles. Wonder where they're heading. The candles seem to be leading into the Forbidden Forest.
Ah, who needs the unforgivables? Plenty of even nastier spells to use.
The treasure must be nearby. I suppose a picnic in the Forbidden Forest could seem romantic to some. Treasure hunting suits me.
You can't imagine how inconvenient travel was before I invented flu powder.
Glad you came.
Hello, Serona. I received your owl. How are you?
Hello, my friend. Did you ever find Lodgog?
I did, thank you. We had a good conversation. He sends you his best.
Glad to hear it. I shan't ask for details of your little chat, and I'll refrain from telling you to be careful yet again. But I hope you will be, whatever your plans.
Of course. Your owl mentioned you're needing my help with something?
I do. I thought you might be just the person to do a favour for my friend Dorothy Sprottle in Upper Hogsfield.
I don't believe I've met Mrs. Sprottle.
She's lovely. Her late husband Aidan was a friend of my father's. In fact, I'd stay with Dot and Aidan the summers I waited tables here as a student. I've seen her a few times since Aidan passed, but the pub's been so busy lately, I've not been as attentive as I'd have liked. I wonder if you might pop in and see her. She may need some help collecting ingredients for her supply of Wiggenweld potion. And you could retrieve something of mine in the process. A box, full of old letters and such.
Why does Mrs. Sprottle keep a supply of Wiggenweld potion on hand?
Dot's a skilled potioneer. She's been supplying travelling vendors with Wiggenweld potion. An ordinary precaution that has, unfortunately, become a necessity, what with Ranrock's loyalists disrupting the trade routes.
Why did Mr. and Mrs. Sprottle have your box of letters after all this time?
It's one of a few that I had when I was young. Dot found it when she was clearing out a closet. Can't imagine what's in there. Probably terribly theatrical. The ramblings of a teenage witch and her friends. You're welcome to take a peek inside, if you do find it. To be honest, I'd imagine it contains some lovely memories.
I'll try to go and see her when I can.
It would mean the world to me, and to Dorothy. Aidan was bringing the box of letters to me when he was taken ill. Dot can tell you where he might have dropped it. You'll find the hamlet just north of Hogsmeade. Please do give Dot my love.
Upper Hogsfield. Now where to find Mrs. Sprottle?
Bardolph Beaumont should have returned by now. Had by dark wizards he was.
Hello, Mrs. Sprottle. Actually, Sirona Ryan asked if I'd come and see you.
Oh, dear Sirona, a gem. Has been for as long as I've known her.
She thought you might need help collecting ingredients for your Wiggenweld potion.
And she's correct. My darling Aidan used to collect hawklumps for me. Since he died, my supply has dwindled.
I'm sorry for your loss, Mrs. Sprottle.
Oh, thank you. Love of my life. A bit lost without him. If you wouldn't mind gathering some hawklumps for me, I'd be happy to compensate you for your time.
Believe it or not, I have some with me.
Oh, thank you. How wonderful. The travelling vendors will be thrilled to replenish their stock of Wiggenweld potion.
Sirona also mentioned that Mr. Sprottle was bringing her a box of letters when he fell ill.
Indeed he was. I'd almost forgotten. I stumbled upon it just before Aidan died. He was hoping to go through it with Sirona over a butterbeer or two. Those two were always like two bowtruckles in a branch. Aidan took ill when he was collecting hawklumps on his way to see her. He made it home, but I fear he dropped the box in the cavern. The cavern is in the hills just southwest of our hamlet. You can gather hawklumps and collect the box of letters there.
Sirona said she lived with you during the summers when she was at Hogwarts. What was she like?
Goodness. Well, she was almost exactly like she is now. Charming, good head on her shoulders, taking care of everyone. I can't tell you the fun we had when she and her friends would visit us during the year, all buzzing about, practicing charms. Talented group. Her friend Mirabelle was a genius in the garden. Learned it all from her muggle parents, if you can believe it.
Do you remember anything about the letters you put in the box?
Oh, of course. A few letters from some of her school friends. Some nice memories. I even included a letter Sirona had written to me when she was staying with us. Thought she might enjoy reading it. I know when I read writing from my youth, I'm always astonished at how much I've changed, and yet remain the same.
Thank you, Mrs. Brottle.
Thank you. I'll be here if you are able to collect those hawk lumps. I, and the vendors I help, would greatly appreciate it.
This must be the cavern Mrs. Brottle mentioned. Hawk lumps to Mrs. Brottle, but I still need to visit the cave to find Sirona's box. Better have a look around. See about the hawk lumps and the box of letters. Confringo! That's all the hawk lumps for now. Mrs. Sprottle should be pleased. Revelio. Compulso. Either I'll have to fight that troll, or avoid it altogether. Protect him! Stupefy! Levioso! Levioso! Wingardium Leviosa! Protego! Wingardium Leviosa! Glacius! Levioso! Protego! Flipendo! Accio! Confringo! Protego! Flipendo! Lumos. Levioso. Incendio. Levioso. Repulso. Protego. Levioso. Flipendo. Protego. Flipendo.
I confessed about it, and he confessed straight away, the old rascal. We've agreed to let bygones be bygones. Don't forget to say hello the next time you're in the Three Broomsticks. Thrilled to be back there again.
Revelio. Flipendo. Protego. Lumos. Protego. I think that's everything. Sirona, I should take this box of letters to Sirona. She'll be glad to have it back. Confringo!
One in Berlin.
Reduction!
Expelliarmus!
Thought we'd forget about that goblin helm you nicked.
Protego!
Depulso! Protego!
Luck! Nothing more than luck!
You took Nora Treadwell from us. You're not going to like it.
Nothing more than luck!
Incendio! Protego!
You'll have to fight eventually.
Incendio!
Avoiding other problems.
Depulso! Protego! Incendio! Accio!
Like a benefit.
Confringo!
No!
Confringo! Accio! Flipendo! Protego! Stupefy!
I can't feel my fingers.
What have you done?
It's shameful what you've done to helpless beasts. Revelio. Oh,
For with you! What do you think you're...
Accio. Protego.
Nothing more than luck!
Flipendo.
You!
Accio. Confringo. Confringo. Revelio. Incendio. Confringo. This Merlin trials won't get the best of me. This place has seen better days.
How nice to see you, my young friend.
Hello, Serona. I have good news. I was able to provide your friend Mrs. Sprottle with some hawk lumps for her Wiggenweld potion, and I found your box of letters.
Oh, thank you. I knew you were the one to ask.
I wondered about some of the letters in the box.
Of course. It appears most of the letters were from fellow students.
I saw a letter from someone named Mirabelle. Is that Professor Garlick?
It is. Still one of my dearest friends. I know she wouldn't mind you having seen that letter. She and I are of a similar mind, especially when it comes to young people. We believe experience to be an invaluable teacher. To borrow a phrase from Mirabelle, it's a joy to see anyone blossom, but particularly one who doubted they ever would.
I spotted a letter from you to Mrs. Sprottle. You two seem to have a lot of fun together.
We do. She taught me so much during my summers with her and Aidan. I shall be the first to admit that adolescents aren't always the easiest to understand. And not everyone was as kind to me as the Sprottles. But the depth of their kindness, and that of so many of my friends, got me through some challenging times, to put it mildly.
One of the letters mentions Quidditch practice. Did you play?
I did. Was the Ravenclaw Seeker for 3 years. Oh, Merlin's beard, I adore Quidditch. Nothing like the feeling of catching the golden snitch when your team's down by 140 points. I'll never forgive Professor Black for cancelling it this year. I missed cheering for Ravenclaw. We could have cheered them on together.
I'm glad I could be of help. Mrs. Sprottle sends her best.
Don't know what I'd have done without her and Aidan. Thank you, again, for helping her, and for returning this box of letters. It's nice to reflect on good memories.